A work of art is only what an artist says. If there is no artist, there is only silence.
I don't care for him, I don't care for Owen Wilson, I don't care for Matthew Lillard. He's just such a weak, uninteresting guy.
It's not statutory. You know, he had sex with a minor. All right, that's not.
There are works of art that speak to me, even though I don't know who the artist is. What matters is what is being said, not who says it.
Before asking if we can do it, maybe we should wonder, why do we want to separate art and artist in the first place? And I think there are two main reasons as to why. The first one being our sense of justice. I believe that as humans, we strive to be in a just and fair world, because it brings us a sense of comfort and security in a way. We abide by the rules because we believe that they are a benefit to our lives. So when someone breaks said rules, well, we believe that this person should be held accountable, because otherwise, what's the meaning of having rules if you can break them without any consequences? If you can steal a car and nothing is going to happen to you, then why wouldn't you, in a sense, right? And the second reason is that we don't want to associate ourselves with a bad person, because if we associate ourselves with such a person, then what does that say about us, you know? Okay, so we get why we want to do it, but I said bad person this, bad person that, but what does that even mean? When I say bad person, who do you think of and why them? Whoever you picked, odds are that first, we picked different people, and second, that the reason we picked those individuals are totally different from one another. We use different factors to decide who's bad and who isn't. So all that to say that bad and good aren't objective matters, they are subjective. They will vary from one individual to another. Maybe you have a genetic bias, maybe you have life experiences that are totally different and led you to believe that this or that is good or bad. It really depends from one individual to another, but also it depends on the period. During your life, what you consider good and bad will change. That is a fact. And so now you have to expand that concept to the entirety of society and the world. What we considered bad yesterday isn't bad anymore today, and this cycle will probably continue in the future as it has happened during our entire lives. One last thing to consider is our culture. Depending on where you're from in the world, we're going to view things differently and value different things. But that doesn't mean that one culture is above another. So for the sake of simplicity, we are going to use today's Western system of values to consider what is good and what isn't, right? Okay, now let's talk about the big boy in the room, Quentin Tarantino. To consider talking about him, we have to figure why would we want to separate him from his art in the first place. First of all, his art. Is it thriving? Yes, obviously. Dumb question. Next. Is he a bad person? Well, yeah.
Right, that's the one. How can you defend? See, I don't understand this. How come Hollywood embraces this madman, this director who the 13-year-old?
He didn't the 13-year-olds. It was statutory.
Yeah, all right.
Well, that's not quite the same thing. All right?
Come on.
Enough said.
It's not statutory. You know, he had sex with a minor.
I'll let you be the judge of that, but for the sake of the video, let's say that he is a bad person and that we have to do something about it. If you're still not convinced, we can pick someone else. I don't know, you can think of Polanski, for instance. So, we declared that Tarantino is a bad person, right? We do not separate him and his art, and therefore, we do not watch anything he's involved with. Let me play devil's advocate here for a second. Sure, we just declared that he is a bad person. Let's go with it. But first of all, it's very subjective, and second of all, most of the things he's done were probably done a while ago or were not that important. But most importantly, do we not take into consideration all the good things he's done? Yeah, I know it's subjective and tough to draw a line on what's acceptable. You have to take into consideration how long ago was that thing said or done. What was the social norm back then? Was the individual young? Was it a one-time thing, or did they have a record? How did they react once called out? And of course, the severity of whatever they did. So, for all those reasons, I said, let's keep it easy. Too many factors, okay? But I do agree with you that when someone is a benefactor of some sort, we have to take that into consideration as well. But it's not an all-time pass for whatever they did. Sure, but then you should absolutely mention all the good things he's done for black exploitation during his whole career, right? He sure did. Great. 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 Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Is that everything? Okay, sure, sorry. Let's say we cancel Tarantino, right? But then, what about you? What about me? Well, you like his movies, you take inspiration from his work, you even use his image to promote your videos. And what about the rest of the people that do the same or just study his work? Should you all be cancelled as well? And do we even have the right to say his name? I mean, he isn't Voldemort. Come on, we can say his name. I get what you mean, but it's a bit far-fetched. It's not because you like one of the musics that is used in one of his movies or that you mention a line from one of his scripts that you deserve to burn in hell with him. Okay then, we should separate art and artist. Case closed. No, come on, you know it's not that easy. I mean, being in the same studio or movie isn't a capital sin in itself, but think about the actors and the actresses that work with him regardless. I mean, they are not in a position that they need to do so, yet they still do. So what does that say about them? So to you, working with someone who's bad, does that mean that immediately you're also a bad person? I'm pretty sure that if everyone thought the same way, most of the companies and industries in the world would shut down, not just Hollywood. True. Okay, let's go with what you're saying for a second. Let's imagine that actors and actresses have the luxury to pick who they want to work with or not. Let's say that, yeah, sure, maybe a DiCaprio or a Margot Robbie don't necessarily have to work with him and they can straight up say no. But, and even them, I mean, they can be under contracts and whatever. But what about the rest of the crew? Do you think that, I don't know, a gaffer or a focus puller or a makeup artist have the luxury to refuse a job that will put food on the table just because they don't want to work with a creep? Yeah, I guess you're right. See? So we do have to separate art and artist. Still, doesn't sit right with me. I mean, would you be down to go to the guy and give him $20 knowing all the things he's done and said over the past years? Does that feel okay to you? No, it doesn't. You're right, man. I guess I just don't know. Tough question, isn't it? Let's say you have a clear-cut answer regarding art and artists, right? You want to separate them, you don't want to separate them, don't matter. What about the clothes you wear? What about the food you eat? What about the shops you go to? And even, what about the country you live in? Will you have the same answer regarding those aspects of your life? In a world where our leaders pile us against one another for their own benefits, in a world where it doesn't matter where we spend our money, because at the end of the day, it will all accumulate in the pockets of a few, while the rest is starving. In a world where the law doesn't apply to the ones that make it, and lying is no longer a crime, in such a rotten world, does it even matter to try and cancel anything? So, should we separate art and artist? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. But I feel that the question is kind of irrelevant now. The question we should really be asking is there even a point to do so? Aren't we fighting an uphill battle? Are we against Goliath and there is just no chance to win? Are we just fighting for the sake of fighting and trying to give our lives a sense of purpose? Or is the fight the meaning of our lives? Maybe just like David, we have a chance to beat Goliath. Even if it's the slightest chance, maybe we could win. And maybe after fighting and fighting and fighting, we'll get where we want to be. Maybe we shouldn't separate art and artist. Maybe we should hold them accountable for their actions, so that maybe one day we wouldn't even have the need to ask that question anymore. And that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm still trying something new, and I think I really like this kind of concept where I first started with an example in the world of cinema and talk about it, and then make it a bit broader and expand it to our society and different things like that, more philosophical topics or societal norms or whatever. So maybe I'll keep going in this direction. I don't know, I'm still trying to find my touch and find whatever the hell I want to talk about. Clearly, I tend to be a jack of all trades, master of none, and talk about a lot of topics. So maybe in the future it will only be that, maybe it'll be something else, I don't know. Anyway, I had a lot of fun thinking about this video because, once again, I really like taking a topic and just seeing the wider picture and putting it into context, so that was interesting for me. I hope it was for you too. And if it was, please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much. Once again, any criticism is welcomed. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week. Bye.